Turning now to a case that shocked many in the Valley, and today a judge made it official. April McLaughlin was sentenced to prison in a high-profile animal abuse case, and that's not her only punishment. 12 News journalist Craig Harris was in court and joins us now with the latest. Craig?
Good afternoon, Tram. It was an emotional hearing. 8 different people, including the aunt of April McLaughlin, urged a judge to give her a stiff sentence. Ultimately, she got 3.5 years, a sentence those in the Rescuing the Dog say doesn't quite fit the crime. This case gained widespread notoriety in 2023. That's when McLaughlin was accused of neglecting and mistreating dozens of dogs in her small 900-square-foot home in Chandler. Police seized more than 50 dogs from McLaughlin's house, where her elderly mother also lived. Dogs, many of them disabled with special needs, were living in cages stacked upon each other, many severely dehydrated and not fed. Chandler police found 5 dead dogs inside the kitchen freezer of her home.
This case is poignant for me as the worst medical condition seizure that we've ever experienced as an organization. We deal with cases of animal hoarding on a pretty regular basis, but in this particular case, every single pet was in really horrific conditions. So I think it's a little bit of closure for us to have the opportunity to speak to the judge and have a sentence finally come down. So we're just happy to have it be over at this point.
In addition to pleading guilty to animal cruelty charges, McLaughlin also pled guilty to stealing at least $150,000 from her elderly mother, who lived in the small home with the dogs. During the hearing, it was disclosed that her mother had suffered a stroke and ate food from the same freezer that included the dead dogs. Superior Court Judge Jeffrey Reuter sentenced McLaughlin to 3.5 years in prison for stealing from her mother and 2 years in prison for the animal cruelty. The judge ordered the sentences to run concurrently or at the same time. McLaughlin has already served about 2 years in county jail. So based on the time that she served and because of other sentencing issues, she'll serve about 2 more years in prison. Tram, back to you.
All right, Craig, thank you. Let's talk to Josh again about this. So, 3.5 years in prison for animal abuse would be a very long stretch, but she also stole $150,000 from her mother.
Yep.
And that's probably where the main penalty is coming from here, right?
Yeah, so she was convicted of committing multiple felonies on different dates of offense. And under those circumstances, the judge is required to sentence anybody with those same counts to a prison sentence.
And the sentence for animal abuse is considerably lower.
It is. So the fraud schemes in which she was convicted of was a Class 2 felony. There's only one other felony that is even more than that, and that's first-degree murder.
And then the judge saying that you can't own animals for 7 years, I mean, you don't hear that very often, do you? I mean, but that's another thing that he just threw on top of that.
Well, it's statutory, so it's a common term for animal abuse cases. And the judge doesn't even have to include it as a term of probation. The statute actually says that on his own, the judge can prohibit somebody from owning animals for whatever time he thinks is appropriate.
Right, so she'll get another 1.5 years or so in jail and not have any animals for 7 years. Josh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tram?